What is up, my Lorcana Goons? Welcome to the Monday Market Watch. Today is December 11th. My name is Kevin, and we're going to talk about some Lorcana stuff today. We have some updated prices on what seemed to be kind of a market crash, right? We saw that a bunch of stores, retailers started getting their restocks. Their initial December 1st stocking was pretty big, and it's looking like the restocking is still coming. I believe GameStop got its restocking on last Friday, and a couple other places like Barnes & Noble have just kept getting gift sets and more Chapter 1 and Rise of the Floodborn. So because of this, prices are still pretty low. But before we get into all these cool prices, I do want to say like, comment, and subscribe to Lorcana Goons. If you yourself are a Lorcana Goon and you like this type of content, there's a lot of you that have subscribed. And by the way, I do want to go over the winners of the giveaway. When we hit 1,000 subscribers, we announced a giveaway for 2 starter decks. The winner is gonna get the Queen and the Merlin starter deck from Rise of the Floodborn. So let's get on into this real quick. I believe this website will give me the results I'm looking for. Here we go. There we go. I finally got it. And the winner is gonna be, we have, all right, SP Max. The comment was, good to see y'all at the top. Ruby Yellow Silver doesn't really play Rapunzel anymore. Hopefully they drop in a price. But congrats to you, SP Mask. Thank you for being a subscriber and commenting on the Lorcana Goons giveaway. I'm going to leave a comment on your comment. If you can just hit me up on Twitter, Instagram, or reply to that comment with your email. I'll reach out to you via email or something, and just give me your shipping info. You have to be in the United States, though. I did say that last time, but thanks again, guys, for everybody who dropped a comment and for everybody who is subscribed. I really appreciate it. Lorcana Goons, guys, there's 1,000+ goons now, and let's see how far we'll keep going on this Lorcana journey. So again, thank you to all of you who answered and commented and subscribed, and I'll continue doing giveaways as time goes on, so stick around, guys, stick around. But let's get on into these prices. There was a couple tournaments that happened over the weekend too, like the 20lore.pro tournament that happened. That is going to also dictate some of these prices. So the Rise of the Floodborn booster box is not really near MSRP. It's kind of bouncing off that $200 mark, even though a lot of the reprints have been a lot of the stock has been hitting the shelves. It's looking like there's going to be still a demand for this Rise of the Floodborn booster box for the sealed product, and you're not really going to find this for MSRP is what it's looking like. And to be honest, I'm not fond of this set in terms of how expensive it is on the sealed product market. I don't think that if I spend $200+ on this box, I'm going to be satisfied unless I pull an enchanted, and even then it has to be a good enchanted, right? The D100 collectors gift set, these are still around that price of around $60 to $70. Scalpers got, that's what you get. Everyone thought, oh, they were gonna quick flip these, but if you want to see like a big return on investment for this kind of like sealed product, you're gonna have to wait years from now, guys. And a lot of people who were buying these up with the intent to flip them on OfferUp, they're people who buy sports cards, they bought Pokemon cards, they know nothing about the trading card game community. They just saw something with the Disney stamp on it, and they probably thought, hey, I can resell these for double the price. And now they're only reselling for about $10 more than MSRP, because like an MSRP was like $50 and you pay $5 in taxes, and you probably find them for like $60 to $70. You know what I mean? So D100 gift sets, I'm pretty sure these are going to stick around for a while around this price. But if you are somebody who just wants to keep these like for a collector value, and you think like in the future they're going to go up, oh, you're probably right. Yeah, in the future, but in the future they're going to go up, like most sealed product, right? The first chapter booster boxes, these are a little bit more expensive than they were last week. Not really close to that MSRP of $140 anymore, but about $20 more. I like the first chapter a little bit more than Rise of the Floodborn right now for a variety of reasons. A couple being that the legendaries in the first chapter I think hold more of a monetary value than the legendaries in Rise of the Floodborn. At least Rise of right now they do, and you can get the enchanted Elsa in the first chapter, and that's still the most expensive. That's still the most expensive enchanted rare in all of Lorcana right now. We also have the Illuminer's Trove for the first chapter, actually selling at prices more than the first chapter booster box in itself. So around 167 to 170 is what you're expected to pay for the Illuminer's Trove. A little bit less than what it was a couple weeks ago when it was like bouncing off that 180 mark, but it's still crazy to see that this Trove is more expensive than the actual booster box for the first chapter, mainly because this is one of these sealed products that just never got reprinted, is what it's looking like, right? And another sealed product I want to mention is the starter decks. These are pretty much close to MSRP now. You can find these at a lot of LGS stores and online for pretty close to what the MSRP was supposed to be, around $15-16, right? I am liking that. It's always good to see some starter deck action that's affordable. And honestly, the Amethyst Steel starter deck comes with the Merlin and Mim package, and that is like tier 1 in my opinion. So this is a good starter deck, I think, to give to somebody right now, because they can actually probably take it to locals and get a few games in, you know what I'm saying? And another sealed product I want to mention is going to be the Winnie the Pooh playmat. We saw these kind of selling for around $50 to $60, and they're kind of sticking around that range. There was a high point of like $70, but that was like obviously a little too inflated. But you tell me, guys, is this Winnie the Pooh mat going to be staying around this price? You think it's ever going to get reprinted? It's ever going to fall in price? I'm surprised they're not printing these mats the way they're printing the first chapter stuff, because I was thinking we were going to see reprints of the playmat from the first chapter, right? But we haven't. And now the Mickey Mouse playmat from the first chapter is selling for around, well, not selling, there's only one listed, and it's listed for around $100. If you look at the most recent sales, the ones that sold that were available all sold for around $60. This mat was selling for around 40 to 50 at one point, and then 60 was the highest in the last couple months, and now the only one listed is $100. And same thing kind of goes with the Maleficent playmat. The Maleficent playmat was also kind of doing the same thing, by the way. But we'll get into some card news, like Elsa Spirit of Winter being the most expensive enchanted legendary. Still not $500 anymore, but it's kind of bouncing off of that mark, and there's still not that many listings for it. 36 listings for the enchanted rare is still kind of low compared to some of the other ones like Namari, which has 48 listings, and this enchanted rare is significantly less than $100. You can find plenty of them selling for around that $80 mark, and it's not the only enchanted rare selling for less than $100 now. We actually have a couple, like Pete Bad Guy. This one's selling for like 80 to 90 as well. Mickey Mouse Artful Rogue. This one's selling for about $85. We also have Aladdin, the Heroic Outlaw, selling for around $80 to $90, and that's gonna be all right now for most of the enchantments that are trending under $100. There's a couple other ones that are kind of in that ballpark. I would say like maybe a Maui and Genie. I saw those for like $99, you know, before shipping. And it does go to show there's a lot available in the market. Hades less than $100, obviously. And people were saying that this was going to happen when the game first came out. And it is kind of cool because maybe at some point we'll be able to play decks with like 4 enchanted Aladdin, right? Like if you're still playing Aladdin, or 4, because people are still playing Maui, maybe people can start playing 4 enchanted Maui in their deck, right? And it's Cinderella Ballroom Sensation. This card fell a lot. This card was closer to that $300 mark, and we even saw it kind of falling within $250 to $220, and this week it's less than $200. Multiple verified sellers listing it for around that $200 mark by TNT Pokey to go. $200 exact. Oh, it's a moderately played. Ooh, never mind. How do you have a moderately played enchanted rare? What happened there, buddy? Oh my goodness. But we do have a near mint foil enchanted rare right here by Wonder Worker, and then Dyersville Comics has it for $207, and there's even one for $185 with $1 shipping by Lake Effect Gaming. So shout out you guys for that low Cinderella Ballroom Sensation enchanted rare price. So you can find some of the enchanted rares for good prices right now if you're trying to, you know, have some collectible enchanted rares. But that's not the only thing you can find at good prices. A lot of these legendary cards are finally hitting lows. Over the weekend, Rapunzel was about $25. We saw it on Friday hitting close to that $25 range. It did kind of pick up a bit in price. Now it's around $30 to $32, a little bit more than the $25 range, but there was a couple sales happening over the weekend for less than $30. We have some for $27, $26, $27.90, $27.30. So around $27, I want to say, is what people were paying for Rapunzel as of last Friday maybe, and today it's going to be a little closer to that $30 range again. So that was like the lowest I'd seen it. I do want to take make a note that the foils are still kind of holding their value, but I did see a lot of foils listed and selling for closer to that $60-$70 mark as of this week. But now it's looking like the foils are, yeah, see, so 53 is what they were selling earlier, 60. So on the ninth, foils, so for the 60 on Rapunzel's, $48, and today you can find them closer to that $45 range for the foils. So even the foils are starting to come down for some of these legendaries. This Royal Rapunzel was over $100 at one point, and today you can find them for around $46. And same goes to some of these other legendaries. So Legendary Beast is keeping its value. It's cool how Rapunzel and Beast are basically the most expensive legendaries in all of Lorcana right now, and it's 1 in 1 from each set, right? And they're kind of close to that same price range, around $30 with a couple more bucks in shipping. The lowest verified we have for Beast is actually going to be on the second page, and it's going to be listed for $32 by everyone TCG. Yeah, so $32 is what you're expected to pay for a Beast Tragic Hero, aka Sad Boy Beast. And following them two as the third most expensive legendary and the most expensive non-foil is going to be Maleficent Monstrous Dragon. This card is amazing in Ruby decks, and you're going to be paying a little bit more than $30 if you want to go through a verified seller. A lot of non-verified sellers are listing these cards right now because of how many first chapter packs are out and about, you know, so many people are buying and listing these cards. So if you don't want to pay the $30 price point, you can find some for $28.49, $27, etc., etc. But other than that, a lot of the other legendaries are kind of staying within this $15 to $10 price point, and it's kind of what I'm seeing right now in Lorcana. Like, really good legendaries are going to be $20, $25 plus, right? And then mid-tier legendaries are going to be around like $10 to $15, and then the bad legendaries are obviously less. And then the super rares and the good super rares are around $8 to $10, and the good rares are around $5 to $6. And I'm starting to see that kind of trend in Lorcana, and it keeps going down, you know. Whereas like the popular rares, but the ones that aren't like super amazing, they're like $1, $2 cards. But you know, you'll see that right now. But Hades Infernal Schemer, $15 is like the lowest listing we have right here. 1643 is going to be by Set Pass TCG. Shout out you guys. So less than $20 for Hades Infernal Schemer. Now we have some super rares for you. Arthur Wizard's Apprentice is going to be the most expensive super rare in the set still. Kind of bouncing off that $20 price point. We have some lowest verifieds for 16, 1749, 1799. What do you guys think? Is Arthur being the most expensive super rare warranted? I feel like the Madam Mim and Merlin engine uses Arthur a lot, but not every list is using Arthur either. So it kind of makes sense why it's not more than $20 and kind of still closer to that $15 range, I would say. Cinderella Ballroom Sensation is pretty close to that price point as well. Looky here, we have the foil and the non-foil pricing bouncing off each other. They're basically the same price, which, you know what that means, guys. One of these is going to either dip or go up, and I'm pretty sure it means the non-foil price is going to go down. Usually what ends up happening when this happens is the non-foil price goes down first before the foil price goes up. But if you're buying Cinderella Ballroom Sensations, the non-foil price is going to be about $14 to $15 going by the lowest verified. And if we look at the foils right here, the lowest oh, you know what? Scratch that. Never mind. The foils are now $20 foils. Yeah. So now they're going to be about $5 more. So $20 is probably what you're expected to pay for a foil Cinderella Ballroom Sensation, and $14 to $15 is probably what you're going to be paying for a non-foil Cinderella Ballroom Sensation. Beast Relentless is another legendary that's been kind of going up a little bit in price. These were less than $15 a week ago, and now they're kind of getting up to that $17, $18 range. And these were super cheap a couple days ago, and they might be going back up a little bit. I've been seeing a lot of people play Emerald Steel lists on Pixelborn and online in general. I think that color combination has a lot of potential this format, and we've had some deck lists from this tournament these tournaments that have happened in this past weekend. And although Amber Steel and Ruby Amethyst were heavily represented, there's plenty of other tournament top 8 breakdowns that showcase color combinations that are not those, and a lot of them are using Emerald. A lot of them are using other Amber cards. So certain cards are starting to kind of pick up a little bit in value again, because of how good they actually are, you know. And a lot of people are playing Lorcana now, so the fact that the rest of the cards are cheap makes its legendaries start becoming popular again. But we do have some foil commentary right here. The Elsa Spirit of Winter, the non-foil market price is about $12, and the foil price is about $25. And this is crazy to see, because at one point the foils for this card were like in the 90s to 100, and now it's looking like the foils are only going to be as high as $25. So that's what happens when we have so many reprints, right? I'm thinking that maybe some of these foils are not going to keep the mass value that they were keeping. So I'm kind of gonna keep focusing on maybe the enchanted rares for like collectability, or even getting stuff graded, for example. But Scarvicious Cheater is another legendary from Rise of the Floodborn that is kind of picking up a little bit in sales, back up to that $20 mark. We have a light played cold foil for $18.90 by Magnolia Game Seal, and then we keep going down. We have Health Points TCG. They have it listed for $22.99. Okay. So last week we did see a little bit more of a cheaper price on these. We could even check it earlier in the day. People were buying these up for $13, $12, $14, and as of this morning, now their lowest verified is going to be around $20 for the foil, and the non-foil is going to be around $15 still. So yeah, so less than 20 bucks is what you're going to be paying for a Scarvicious Cheater for a non-foil, and the foils are going to be around $20. So that's kind of cool for that card. I think the card's actually pretty good. Another great card right now that you could probably pick up for your deck is going to be Carefree Surfer Stitch. This card is less than $10 right now, or like $10, arguably, I would say. We have Project CCG. Shout out you guys. That's one of my locals. That's where I go play. They have these for $9.87 with shipping included. So less than $10, and they got 3 of them. So if you want to go through one seller and not have to pay shipping 3 times, you can buy them all from Project CCG for less than $10 for your Surfer Stitches. That's really cool. Surfer Stitch being a staple in Amber. I think now's a good time to get your staples, guys. We have Cinderella, Stout Hearted, very popular, super rare in the set, going back up to that $15 range. Or actually, no, that's the foil. It's foil version. So for the non-foil, still sticking around that $13 to $14 range. Yeah, the pricing is actually really close for the non-foils and the foils. Check that out. So if you want to buy a non-foil Cinderella Stout Hearted, you're going to be paying $13.99, going by the lowest verified. But if you want to buy a foil one, we're going by $15.40 by the lowest verified, only $1 more. Those prices are way too close, guys. Something's gonna happen. One of those prices is gonna diverge, so keep on the lookout for that one. Yzma, Scary Beyond Reason. These foils are kind of cool because the foil for this card is about $11. And if we keep going down, they start going as high as 12 to 13. There's a couple listings on those too. But Yzma, Scary Beyond Reason is a really good card. The non-foils are gonna be about $5 though. So if you want them for your deck, you can pay $5 for them, but if you want a shiny deck, you probably pay double for them, right? Whole New World is a cool card. It's kind of been going down in price too. It's around that $5 price point now. This used to be like a $20 card. That's so crazy. The foils though are still gonna keep that price point of around $10 to $11 though. Lady Tremaine, Imperious Queen. This is a very popular super rare in Rise of the Floodborn right now. The non-foil price is going to be around $10. We have Ronin TCG. They have 4 of them for you for $10.50. But check this out. If we go to the foils right here, they have multiple cold foils for $12, $12.76, $12.79. Only about $2 to $3 more for a cold foil on the Lady Tremaine. So, you know, that's a pretty close number in price. I think might as well get some foils in my opinion. Tinkerbell Giant Fairy has been picking up a little bit in sales. These were less than $7 for sure, and now we're finding them for around $7 to $8. I want to say they were closer to that $5 mark last week when everything was on sale, and now it's kind of looked like the prices are picking up just a little bit. But they're not picking up so much to where the game's like not affordable. It seems more like it's picking up because just more people are buying the cards because the game is affordable. You know what I mean? Pinocchio is a card we talked about last week. The prices kind of did diverge. So the non-foils are going to be around $8. So we have a couple listings right here from Mordos and Never Grow Up for $7.99 with shipping included. Health Points TCG has 4 of them for you though. They're $8 each and shipping included. Check that out. We have the cold foils though selling for $9.80, basically $10 for the cold foil Pinocchio. Strength of a Raging Fire is a rare I want to talk about. This card's been going up in price a little bit. I think it's really good in the format because you're able to sing your characters and deal more than 3 damage, 4 damage, even 5 damage, depending on how many characters you control, right? But this card was about less than, let's see. This card was selling for $4 to $3 earlier in the month, and as of this weekend, wow, a lot of sales happening for 6, 7, almost $8. So Strength of a Raging Fire going up to a $8 rare is what it's looking like. We have Double Down Games. They have 12 of them for you ready to go for $8.25 shipping included. So I would say closer to a $8 rare Strength of a Raging Fire, in my opinion. Madam M Fox, this rare is kind of cool. Comparing it to Flavor Sham, right? This rare also comes in the starter deck. Flavor Sham, no longer an $8 rare. Madam M Fox still about a $4 to almost $5 rare. It's going to be a lowest verified by Meng's Collectibles, $3.83 plus $1 shipping. And then we have Ink Soul TCG. They got 5 of them for you, so you can pay $3.89 and $1 shipping. So $4 to $5 is what you're using. Is what you're going to pay for a Mim Fox. And Mim Fox is super impactful in the meta. It basically makes your Amethyst engine heavily reliable because you get an extra bounce resource, and on top of that, it's a 3 ink 4 damage character. That is crazy. But we know how good Mim Fox is. Speaking of another Fox, we have Nick Wild and Nicky Dubs over here dropping in price. This was like a $2 to $3 uncommon. Now we're finding them kind of trickle down a little bit closer to that like $1 to $2 mark, and give it a couple more weeks, guys. This card is going to be as low as all the other uncommons. It's hard to pull and hard to find, but people aren't really playing the popsicle deck right now anymore, and it just looks like there's more and more product on the shelves. Flynn, the writer, his own biggest fan. I think this card's kind of picking up in play. I've been seeing it a lot on Pixelboard and a lot of my locals, and it was like less than $1, and now they're selling for around closer to $3. So that card's kind of cool. Look out for that one. Maleficent, Bidding Her Time, and Lilo are used in the Hyper Aggro deck, and both of these cards are finally the same price. Shout out Lilo. Remember, it used to be the card of the century, right? They did pick up in sales a little bit though, this format, so now they're kind of back up to a $3 to $4 price point. You have the lowest verified by Play to Win Games for $3.97 with $1 shipping. So I would say this is about a $3 to $4 rare, along with Lilo kind of going back up a little bit in price, nothing too crazy, but it is about a $4 rare, almost $5 for both of those, right? As the Hyper Aggro deck sees more play, these cards start to see a little bit more interest, right? World's Greatest Criminal Mind, an amazing rare, but as you can see, a lot of these rares are starting to kind of stick around that $3 to $4 price point. This is a cold foil right here, and that's going to be for $4, and then we could even find the non-foils for around $2, $1 for the non-foils, and that's kind of what's happening with the rares. The non-foil rares kind of stick around $2, the ones that are used, you know, unless they're like super duper crazy, they'll stay around $2 to $3, and then the foils will kind of just be double that, right? Same thing goes with like something like Noi or Orphan Thief. Baby Noi is about $3 for the non-foil as well, and the foils are going to be about $4 to $5. So nothing too crazy there, but it's looking like rares are going to be around this price point from now on. We probably won't see a lot of $10 plus rares anymore as Lorcana heads into the future of its mass printing. But the foils for Sorcerer's Spellbook are around $5 to $6, almost $7. So this card's really popular. I think it's really good. And I like foiling out my decks, but if you don't want a foil version, this card is still going to be $3 for the verified lowest listing by Relevant TCG. So a $3 rare right there. And then we have some promo cards I want to go over. I'm going to always go over these D100 alternate arts because people swore that these cards were going to be like expensive or worth something, but watch this price point. $8, $7. This is going to keep going down. It's just a promo card. It's probably going to go down as much as all the promos from the gift set from the first chapter. So just wanted to point that out there. And then we're going to go over the PAX promos because like I mentioned on Friday, the PAX promos are going down in price. they have a lot of hype when they first come out, and we've already been told that they're going to be available at multiple regions, I mean multiple events in your region. So as you can see, they're not selling for $30 plus anymore. Now there's plenty of listings for around $25, $26 for the Rapunzel. The Pinocchio is no longer selling for in that $20 range. There's listings for less than $20 technically, for $18.88, 14 with $5 shipping, so kind of close to $19. And 4 dozen eggs, this was kind of bouncing off that $25 range still. So they did go down a little bit. And if you want to go to 130 point, you can compare those prices too. But one of the promos that has been kind of going up in price is the Gaston from the this was a promo that was from Europe, and it's hard to find in the US. So a lot of sales were happening for this on TCG Player for more than $100 actually. So from November all the way until just yesterday, a couple sales from that $100 to $130 range. And you can check on 130 point in eBay for these. There's a couple listings for the Gaston promo, and they're gonna be around almost $100. The lowest one I can find is $80 right here, with shipping included. But even then, yeah, this one's going up. I wonder if it's because there's not going to be more of these. I don't know when the next Gaston event is. Obviously, it's a little harder to get these promos in the United States because they're coming from Europe. So have to take that into consideration. But if we go on to 130 point, we can find the recent sales, and it's looking like they're selling for about 40 pounds, in Europe, where we have the 40 GBD right there, GBP, and then $150 though. So it is a big difference if you're buying some of these promo cards, if you're not getting them in the region that they're from, right? So always take that into consideration when we're trying to do some good sales, you know what I mean, or some smart shopping. But since we're on 130 point, let's go over the D23 promos, right? Because the D23 promos are the bread and butter of Lorcana, in my opinion, and we have some movement that have been happening in the last couple days. So there have been a couple sales that have been going down for these since, I want to say, Friday, and Friday was the 8th, I believe. So since then, we had a Corella DeVille. This was a PSA 9, and these are the D23 promos, by the way. These were the cards that were used to announce Lorcana as a game at D23. This was last year in 2022, and these are the only first edition Lorcana cards, and I'm going to stress that because they're the only cards that have a little stamp on them that say first edition. Everyone's always asking, is there a difference between the first wave and the second wave of the first chapter printing? And no, I'm sorry, there's not. There's not going to be a first edition stamp anywhere except for these cards right here. So because of that, some of them have some pretty crazy prices, right? And a lot of these cards, they have a specific foiling, so that's what's pretty cool. But Corella DeVille, a PSA 9, sold for around $1,100, so $1,899. So that's pretty cool. And then we had another PSA 9 Corella DeVille sell in bids for only $865. So sometimes the prices be jumping around, Then we have after that a Mickey Mouse Brave Little Tailor, D23. This was a raw, so this one's not graded, sold for 850 USD. Then we also have a Elsa that's selling for, what was it? It was an Elsa that sold for $3,250. So this was a D23 PSA 9 Elsa. So wow. $3,000 for the Elsa. That seems like a pretty reasonable price. I want to say the PSA 9 Elsa has been selling for around this price, and this is usually consistent with the other ones I've seen. I know that PSA 10 sells for around double this price, so that is pretty crazy. We have a PSA 10 Rockstar Stitch. This sold for $2,725. So almost $3,000. This Rockstar Stitch has been going up in price, I think, if I'm not mistaken. We also have a PSA 9 Maleficent Dragon. So last week we saw a Maleficent Dragon that sold for around 1,070, and now we have one that sold for 1,300. So a little bit more in price. And then we have another one here, sold for 1,600. Oh no, but that's Canadian dollars, so it's probably around the same price in the conversion rate, right? So or maybe 13 to 1,100 ish. Okay. So the Maleficent Monstrous Dragon looks like it's going up a little bit if we're focusing on the PSA version, right, for the D23 promo. So A little bit more than about 1,200, maybe 1,100 is what you're 1,200. I mean, is probably what you're expected to pay for the Maleficent Monsters Dragon D23 promo PSA 9. And then we also have a PSA 9 Rockstar Stitch right here, sold for $1,200 and $1,230. Okay, cool. Let me know what you guys think of the D23 promo cards. I like these. I think these are the most interesting slabs, mainly because we know that there was only 900 of these printed and given away at the D23 Expo. Whereas like everything else that's enchanted rare and like reprinted and whatnot, we've seen how often they're going to be printing this game. So like, not to say that it doesn't take away from how like rare or how cool it is, but when you're opening an enchanted rare and you're doing it with the intention to get it graded, you're not the only person doing that. And if you're not the only person doing that, the scarcity for that just doesn't really exist. There's going to be plenty to go around. I know that there's like specific grades for like Beckett 10s, like pristine editions and whatnot, and you can kind of keep track of how many of those are in their system. But at the end of the day, if they keep reprinting the first chapter, more people are going to be able to pull the enchanted rares and get them slabbed up, get them graded themselves, you know. So I'm just not like a huge fan on getting those graded right now. There are certain cards that I would kind of appreciate having graded, but that's a whole nother story. But all in all, I think the game is alive and thriving. This weekend has proven thus, because I've been seeing just a lot of tournament reports, and it's looking like a lot of people have been able to get their hands on not only sealed product but singles that they've been looking for to complete their deck. I know for sure that I haven't been able to get 4 Rapunzels since the release of the first chapter, mainly because I didn't want to pay $70 each, you know, for 4 Rapunzels. And now that they're as low as $25 to $30, yeah, I'm gonna buy 4. You know, I want those. I need my staples. And I was saying this on Friday's video, and again, sorry for the weird audio on that one. And so I do appreciate those who did kind of sit around and still listen to that, because I was being straight up, and I really do feel like right now you can build multiple decks and take multiple decks to like different locals, and it would be cool to even have a format in Lorcana where you show up with 2 decks, and you imagine you reveal the colors to your opponent and your opponent bans one of them, and then you have to play, you know, your best 2 out of 3 with that deck or something. And that'd be a cool format. And if the game keeps these prices, you know, and if the set 3 has respectable prices like this, then that it will be an affordable game to be able to play formats like that, you know what I mean? Everyone's kind of complaining, or I feel like people who don't understand TCGs are complaining that the game is like super duper cheap now, but you can kind of tell who's actually playing the game and who bought all these boxes because they thought that they were going to be able to sell them during Christmas time for triple the price, you know what I mean? And like those people are gonna obviously kind of like eventually not stick around in the community, but the players, us, the ones that are you know actually investing our time and our efforts into this game, it benefits us at the end of the day. I know that some of these prices are like extremely low for some of us that maybe want to be selling cards like over the counter, like at the LGS or something, but at the end of the day, this just means that the game is going to be a lot more accessible to us as well. So for example, I feel like distro access is a lot easier to come by for other games aside from One Piece, right? But like it's not the hardest thing in the world to find like distro access for certain games like Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon right now, especially if you're in Southern California. But for Lorcana, it's been possible, and that just kind of goes to show like how big of a demand it was and how little distribution there actually was for like accessibility's sake, right? And as these prices go down, it means that eventually there is going to be more access for the little guy like us, for example, like, you know, who we're throwing at Lorcana, me and Zach at Pele Cards Games, we're throwing these Lorcana Goon tournaments, and you know, we're using like our own money from our pockets, and we're trying to provide pricing, and it's so hard to do when there's not product available for us to do that with. But now that all these prices are going down and there's all this stock on the shelf, and it's deterring scalpers and deterring people who don't understand the secondary market from trying to be involved in this, you know, market, it's gonna help I think the overall process of like getting the game to grow. I don't know about you guys, but I've been seeing a lot more people at like certain tournaments, or like asking certain questions about prices, or just like taking an interest in trying to buy sealed product or buy singles to complete their deck. But again, At the end of the day, it's not financial advice over here. You guys do what you want to do with your money, and yeah, enjoy the game. Don't let it sway you. Don't let other people like sway you from whether or not you want to play because of how much you want to spend. And people always ask, "Oh, I found packs for $1 above MSRP. Is that a good deal? Should I pay for those?" And it's really up to you. You know what I mean? But I personally, I'm gonna always buy a Lorcana pack when I get a chance, if I can afford it, obviously, because some of these pools are worth it. I'm definitely gonna play the Enchanted Lottery, but yeah, as you can see, it's looking like a Ruby Amethyst meta with an Amber Steel dominance as well. So all of those cards are really popular. But all in all, the market is low. Are we experiencing like a crazy market crash? Is this game gonna die? Heck no. This is not a market crash. This is like just a buyer's market. This is the best time for us as players to buy into the game and put our money where our mouth is, because everybody was complaining about the prices, but now we can actually afford the game. I don't know about you guys, but I'm gonna go out of my way to start finding some packs now that I feel a little better, and I see them around like all the targets, right? So good luck for you guys on if you're trying to find packs on the shelf as well. And if you can't find packs across the counter, be open to going to your LGS and buying some singles, or working from there and entering some tournaments and winning those packs, because that's probably one of the best feelings in Lorcana right now too. But until then, make sure to stay tuned to Lorcana Goons, and we will see you goons next time. Thanks again so much for the 1,000 subscribers. I cannot thank you enough. We'll do more giveaways soon. Thank you.